It's at home to QPR next. Hello, welcome to the Matchday Vlogs YouTube channel. As always, please remember to smash that like button and hit subscribe because it really does make a difference in the channel. On tonight's show, we're going to be looking ahead to the home fixture against Queen's Park Rangers up next at St Mary's. We'll also be having a look back at the team who we played, who are definitely in Devon. They're in Devon. Just make that clear. Devon is where Plymouth Argyle play their football. Devon for that 2-1 last-minute winner from Shay Adams. And we'll also be having a look at some incomings into the clubs, which we were kind of expecting. So we'll be talking about some of the transfer news. Hopefully, all incomings is the only thing we want to talk about tonight. Yeah. Incomings. Exactly that. And he's staying. And I can't wait to do that montage of that Wolf of Wall Street thing. I really want Shay Adams to do that on Saturday. Jack, how are you? Keeping well?
Yeah, mate. All good. All good. I'll be honest. The transfer market's got me so stressed out that it's got me really excited for Saturday. Like, I'm just like, only football I want to see is them playing now. Like, I'm just so over all of this stuff. So to be able to, get here with you tonight and actually talk about a blooming game rather than just, oh, who's coming, who's going. I just want to watch them, mate.
Thank you for that, Mark. I think that's a shout back to the Beat the Drop show, which I'm still part of the Twitter group on that. So every time those guys are setting up a show, I'm still on there. So me and Chappie and Oscar from All These TV is still like, oh, probably so. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Not here to talk about it. Could you tell that I hadn't prepared anything for that opening line quip? Could you tell?
Yeah, it wasn't quippiest.
No, it wasn't. I had
as
nothing.
Quippy as one can be. It was quite low on the quippage.
I was like, the moment it got to 0, I was like, I'm supposed to say something now, aren't I? Before I hit the credits. But there we go. That's how it's happened. Let us know where you're watching the show from. It's always fun to see. Nothing too specific. That would be weird. But also let us know what sort of week you're having. What are your thoughts on the current transfer rumours? I suppose we should just generally start on that, really, just because that appears to be where everyone's attention is. Unless you've been under a rock this week, Shay Adams has been heavily linked with a move to Everton Football Club. Everton, we've got no money football club. And it appears it's gone a bit quiet. We're not gone quiet, just gone a bit cold. And from our understanding that actually, was it Shay was moving there 15 million and then Southampton wanted 5 million up front and they wanted to pay half of that, which then sort of makes it seem very dodgy. And now we're hearing the fact that Saints are wanting 18 million and things are stalled and their attentions are going to a player from Udinese. Is it Beta or something like that?
Yeah, Beta from Udinese. Yeah, it's
a bit odd, isn't it?
It's gone hot and cold, up and down. Mm-hmm. But from where I was at the beginning of the day to where I am at the end of the day, I do feel more confident that Shay's staying. And I'll be honest, every time I sort of flicked through Twitter today, which I'll be honest was a lot. Sorry, everybody at work. It was every time I saw one of those little posts saying, "Would you rather lose Shay and get Joel, or keep Shay?" I was keep Shay. Every time I thought of the question, I thought, yeah, I'd rather keep Shay. Yeah, it's got was it 3-3, 2 last minute winners?
Yes, I mean his goal scoring record so far is 2 very vital goals at the end of games to effectively get us 6 points instead of 2. So kind of vital. Is it wrong of me to want both?
Are you just being greedy?
I am being greedy, and it's kind of like, well, with Adam Armstrong supposedly now a number 8, does this not mean that we
but is Adam Armstrong really our number 8, or is that Smallbone was out? We didn't have Downs yet.
He played great in that position, though.
Don't get me wrong. I thought he was absolutely wicked in that position, and if that's what we feel really is his best position, okay. But he's looked pretty good up top as well, and pretty nifty. Now that is to say, like, his goal ratio has been pretty good so far, and assists. Yeah, he's been wicked. So I'm sure he he probably blasts it wherever he goes. But I
Yeah.
kind of feel like even the way, especially the way that Russell talks about him, it's like we haven't seen Adam being played in his best position.
Mm.
Surely his position is number 9. That's what they must be talking about.
That's the number on his back. Yeah.
So why would they then be like, actually, we're just going to put you into a role that you're not amazingly comfortable with? But don't get me wrong, I thought he was electric in that game. I think he was hard done by the fact that Shea Charles had such a wicked debut that Adam Armstrong was probably my man of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shea Charles got the man of the match eventually, but arguably it could have gone either way. Really, I mean, he wasn't an assist for the final goal because the keeper palmed it on to where Shea was, but I would kind of give him that assist as
but
well.
what I will give him is the fact that after that, when he went down the other end, he made that great challenge right, in the area to stop them doing it. It was a great defensive challenge for him, and like that's kind of the crazy thing about that game is that he was good all over the puck.
Yeah,
he's putting great challenges, tracking back, and he's got absolute energy to do it. Going
transformed him.
I don't know if you noticed, but just the way he turns with the ball was so much quicker. Like last season, a few too many touches and then getting stopped there. But this season, he's just like dragging balls around the place. It's great. It's great to watch.
It is great to watch. I put up Mark's comment earlier at the end of last season. I would not minded Shea going. Now I wanted to stay down to Russell. I guess he's completely transformed, and also is it a bit like finding his level where he needs to stabilize himself to then get. I mean, let's face it, his highlight reel from last season was a little bit ropey, especially that miss against. Well, he didn't miss against Wolves, but he ended up being chalked off due to VAR showing that it hit his arm. Things like that. Really want to go to Everton. I don't know.
That's the thing. I do really honestly feel if he goes to Everton, it's more of what he's had the last couple of seasons. Everton are no better than us. Let's be real about it. Everton are no better than us. If they had the right manager, and there's probably enough decent players in that Everton squad to do something with it, but because everything's so atrocious around the place, it's awful. But I do honestly think if Shea went back there, it'd just be more the same. More the same. And like you said, if he has a season of the Championship absolutely on fire, we always said that Shea was a confident striker. That's why he worked well with Danny, because Danny was always electric anyway. So him working off of that, he would just gain momentum. It'd be great.
Yeah.
After 2 seasons of no Danny and the confidence hits, let's stay in the Championship, stay with a club that you know, and apparently you're about to become vice captain of it if you stay and sign a new contract.
If he signs a new 3-year deal, apparently that is still on the table, a 3-year deal that would basically give him a nice pay rise, because it sounds like he's not on a lot a week. So
yeah, it's not amazing, but I think, like you say, become a top man at the club, really cement himself, and you've got a chance to be the striker that brings the team up, and that's a very sentimental sort of role to a club. To be be a striker that scores 20 plus goals. If he sort of does something crazy, has like a 30 goal season, which given the fact you got 38 games, a couple of hat tricks in there, you could do that.
Yep.
He's ground set, mate. Shea will tear you apart. He's one of the very few players who have a song. So
eventually we do way well before we give you any kind of songs. It's an interesting one, and I can see this. Yeah, I mean, there was something on Twitter saying that it's highly unlikely to happen, but I think Everton's cash strapped. They've got injury issues, and they're all over the place. I mean, Sean Dyche's assessment of their game against Aston Villa was, if I could have subbed all 11 at halftime, I would have, which is pretty damning so early into the season. But I think they're the trouble's not stopped after last season, but we'll have to see.
No, and they had the big investor pull out as well, didn't they, of a big cash injection. So they probably had that factored in, and now that's gone away. So it's just another thing after another thing for Everton. You feel bad for the fans, because Everton as a club on a whole, not really a club that I dislike, really.
No, not at all. I mean, we struggle to win there when we play there. So
exactly, and I harken back to the Moyes days of Everton. That's what I enjoyed watching them and stuff. So it's sucks to see them there. I kind of like it when Everton are a high fighting team. So unlucky.
What does it actually mean with that cash injection, though? Would that have basically meant that it would have favoured them FIFA fair play wise? Is that basically so they get an investment, so therefore, for the book's sake, there's money coming in, so they could offset that, or is it
I
just
would assume
simply
so. I would
some
assume.
slight backing?
I think it'd be a little bit of both, a bit of
Okay.
bit of FIFA fair play and a little bit of injection, and probably if it's these guys, it's probably a little bit of help on that stadium.
Yep.
You know, it's probably a lot of advertising rights.
Yeah, I guess so.
So,
Well, in the new stadium, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, that will bring in a lot more revenue. But what I here to talk about Everton Football Club. Someone's saying we've made an offer for Perot.
have we?
I'm not sure we have. Here's one for the chat session. Okay, wherever you're watching it. And by the way, we are so close to 5,000.
Oh my god, so
this
close.
This could be the night that it happens. So,
What are we on? What's the precise number?
should I check? This is a bit where everyone suddenly unsubscribes and really messes with us, which should be slightly funny if I'm honest. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I've got a Modelo. I'm ready to fight.
Oh, look at that. 4,971. Right. So it's 29 spots.
29 spots. Listen, there's 75 of you watching. Yeah. Come on. Just go spam your friends and be like, hey, these guys are worth it. Worth your time and effort.
Well, yeah, we turned down Love Island at the beginning of the season. So yeah, that would all be very much appreciated. I've got a question for the chat section. Perot or Adams?
Get it in there.
We know the answer. Better the devil, you know. No, but I'd just be curious to know if anyone thinks that Perot would be an upgrade on Adams.
Yeah, and does anybody have any just ringer options? Because it would be a very Southampton thing for it not to be either of them.
Thank you very much. Lola Benny, Adams. Adams.
And like I said before, there's a part of me that thinks that if Shea if Adam Armstrong is going to play in that number 8 position,
yeah,
I feel like him and Shea together, like I said, the bestie mates.
Yeah,
it's going to be that'll be electric.
Exactly. Like this, Shea may not have won the league with us in the Prem, but there's a good chance now in the Championship. There is.
You always said it. You always said it.
Yeah. Shea's hold-up play is invaluable. Yeah, he's very physical, and I think that's something that we would miss. Is
his hold-up play, and then a lot of his through balls are fantastic. When he's knocking into that final third, that he's really got some great progressive passing on him. I always just think back to that Alcaraz goal where he's hold it up on the line and just perfect. Yeah. So honest to God, when you start thinking about it, having your front line, let's say the window ends now. Well, you have to be a few more signings maybe, but if you had that front line of Sulemana, Shea, Teller, Adam Armstrong, let's say Alcaraz and Flynn Downs.
Yeah.
And then as a backup to that, you've got Shea Charles, Smallbone, Adozie, Amoayu. There's so much in there. So much in there to a point that maybe if that is the case, maybe you do want another striker in there because is Mara gonna cut it? If you can get money for Mara, would you get money for Mara?
I don't think we sell Mara unless he goes back to the French league.
I think that's what I mean. I think he might.
Yeah, that could be quite something. Yeah, it's all to play for really. But I mean, look, if the window was to shut right now, we'd be quite happy, wouldn't we?
Yeah, you would be actually, given what's there, and maybe like
Teller's still here, Shea's still here,
yeah,
Sulemana's still here, Kyle Walker-Peters still here. I mean, with the only exceptions really being Tino and Prowse. I mean, Tino we didn't really expect. Prowse, yes, we did. So yeah, but it's going to be.
Were you as a little annoyed at that corner as I was?
Do you know what? I watched him play and I was like, I'm really happy for you, but this is upsetting me.
Yeah.
Genuinely upsetting me. And yeah, it was tough to watch, especially for that. But he looked great. You know when it almost feels like we were the bad partner for him.
Oh, here we were, and like that
It's
bad
like,
partner, I don't want to go.
and now he's with a successful doctor living in a mansion somewhere, and driving around in a nice car. I think that you've got a much better life now.
No, he doesn't,
Just
mate.
speak
No, he
facts.
doesn't.
Just speak facts. It's tough. It's tough to
He's
watch.
got a better life now, but where's he going to be in 70 years when we're not inviting him back for the testimonial game? Damn it, you left. You left.
No, we do wish him the very, very best. Right, should we get on with the actual preview? Oh, we need to
let's
do
do
the
that.
recap bit first. Let's do the recap.
Yeah, let's talk about that game.
Let's get Shay off our screen, but not off the books. He's staying. You heard it here first. Plymouth versus Southampton, a game that ended 2-1. Stats for that game, rather similar, really, aren't they, to a Russell Martin performance, but perhaps not as much possession as we perhaps thought we were going to get. We had 19 shots, 9 of which on target. Passes relatively quite low, actually. 5-4-6 for a Russell Martin side.
It was.
But it was a mixed game. Were we lucky?
No. Anyone that says that, like, I watched a few people saying, "Oh, Plymouth could have had it." It's like, nah. That last 20 minutes was all Southampton.
Yeah.
We were knocking at that door the entire time, and it's Russell Martin football. It's not any surprise that we're winning games in injury time.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that we're not putting more chances away.
Yeah. It's a tough place to go, though.
It's a tough place to go. Don't get me wrong. I thought Plymouth were really good, and let's be honest, that pitch was a woeful. Like, it was just sand with a little bit of spring sugars put on top. It was terrible. So
playing on a Devonshire beach. Devon. Devon.
So yeah, it was. I just kind of thought the performance was lackluster in the first half. If it was the first half twice, and we just snuck it 2-1, I would be like, yeah, we probably would have been lucky to get away. But I just thought second half we came out absolutely swinging, and if it wasn't for that Orion Manning slip and people and they're not tracking the player, that game looks pretty comfortable, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw.
Sorry, go on.
Go.
Okay. I can't remember the name of it, but there's like a podcast that only talks about the Championship or EFL stuff.
Was it the second tier podcast, perchance?
I think it was them, and I think they were describing us as ballet, and other teams are the mosh pit, and I thought that was a good analogy of actually how we're playing. It's all very lovely, but there's a guy running in the middle, throwing all fists and legs all over the place, and is perhaps going to get something whilst we're doing pirouettes and stuff like that.
But I kind of hope that sort of Flynn Downs answers that question a little bit, as does Shay Charles as he comes into form. It's kind of the centre backs, really. Especially now that I see that we want 25 for Bella Kopchuk and Dortmund aren't going to pay for that. I'm of the opinion that Bella Kopchuk's probably staying as well.
Bella Kopchuk's he's not worth 25 million at this. Like, no one's going to pay that.
Yeah, but that to me just says the club kind of see him staying.
Yeah.
And that to me sounds like he's going to be vying for one of those two spots. Because, listen, Jack Stevens has probably got it nailed down because he's captain now. So that's probably his more likely to be the starter.
Yeah.
But I think between him and Bednarak, there's the same amount of mistakes in both of them and the same amount of courage in both of them. So I think Bella Kopchuk, if he can just go in there and have a run of games, he could have an absolute wonder season back there. And just become an absolute wall. The sort of player that we thought he was going to be last season when him and Sally were playing well together. So that could be a big thing this season as well. Like, we don't really have to look for another centre back. I mean, is this matey from Swansea that we're buying out? Is it, what's his name? Thingy Wood. Something Wood.
Just go Wood. It's fine.
Go Wood.
I've done all the research this week on QPR. That's what I've done this week.
Okay.
Just
good.
Stop all the we did research for the show.
We know stuff. So I can't remember if he's a centre back or a full back that we're looking to get from Swansea. I can't remember which one of the two it is. But I think he's a centre back, right? Yeah, and then we're looking at
full back.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the two I'm getting confused with. So we're looking at padding it up. I just feel like that matey from West Ham is he's a right back.
Yes, because he's probably coming in for Bree.
Okay. I get that. But I just feel like, cool. Should we get him off the books then? Because he don't need to be there. Because that means we've got Manning, Peru.
How much did we buy Brie for? I think it was like 2 million or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. I would say 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I think you might get a little return on him. He's just it's unfortunate for him. He's kind of like the defensive version of Paul Onuachu in the fact that he's never gotten a chance
That's
because
a bit
he was
harsh.
No, I would say he is. He's been brought in for a certain reason, and then very quickly that reason was thrown out the door.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's true.
They were both sort of brought in for, Nathan Jones to hit long balls.
Yeah.
And then they didn't do that. So they just kind of both effects of that transfer window being bought for no reason whatsoever, and now ineffective in what they do. So, and Bree's not shined himself in much light in the few appearances he's made, apart from a few decent, like quick, pretty early crosses and quite low crosses I quite like. But it just feels like we've got a lot of fullbacks right now.
We do indeed. Just coming here from Mark, seeing how many times Stevens and Bednarek have played together. You would think they have a better understanding than is on display. It did look a bit ropey, and there were a couple of moments. But looking at some stats, I think they've got, was it the highest passing accuracy in the league?
I think that's the thing. I think I remember when we were watching the game and you were just like, Stevens has got so many bad passes in him. And I think for the most part he does, but then every so often he'll make the wrong one, and he has to be the player that can't make a mistake passing those balls, because
neither of them can.
Neither of those two can make the mistake passing the ball out, because if they do, then they are in so much trouble.
Yeah,
the same. You're going to cause a lot of sequences like that to happen if you're not 100% passing those balls out.
Yeah.
So just need to shore that up. But in reality, it was ropey, but not. If you look, like you say, you look at the stats, they weren't actually that bad. And second half, they tied it all up. If it wasn't for that one stupid, you look at the Plymouth goal, you just everybody was caught flat-footed because of that slip. And I know it sounds, and we're not blaming Manning. It was the pitch and everything else.
He just smashed it as well. I couldn't believe it when it went in. I was just like, oh, okay. But 750k for Brie. There we go. Wasn't even $1 million. Look at that. And I'm going to applaud this joke here. Fantastic.
Yeah, good job.
Fantastic. I love that. We love a pun on this show. Fedatron straight in there with his home truths. Look at that.
Yep.
Fantastic. So yeah, it was. I agree. Defensive error for their goal. There were other dangerous moments. Was it a penalty? Probably not. Didn't make contact.
When we watched it, I was sure. I was like, "That's really harsh." But when you look at it again, he leaves his leg. He's
looking for it.
He's looking for it,
and strong foot. Push the ball wide. Get the ball away from the keeper, and then go for the penalty. And you could see that's exactly why the ref was just like.
And upon
I know what
further,
you're doing.
After the game, I've come to find out that he actually, he's quite known for it, for going down very easy and getting done for that. So
tactic.
That referee was looking out for something that I didn't think he needed to look out for, which was a diving striker. I thought we had left those up there.
Yeah. Up there, up in the sky. Right then. Lastly, last thing on Plymouth. Does anyone know what a Jana is?
Nope.
I haven't got a clue. Apparently they had a whole massive banner that said Jana. Maybe it's that. Maybe they can't spell banner.
Just maybe
Jana.
And I will, because it's only fair that I do this, I would say especially the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes of the game, I felt Gavin Bazunu was fantastic.
Compliment for Bazunu from Jack.
You got to do it. I agree with Russell that there's a lot of potential there. It's just that I wasn't seeing it. But he was. I just kept so many stupid mistakes. It was not that I think he's a bad goalkeeper. I just don't think he's ready to be number one.
Yeah. Sorry, I made that noise. Because someone in the chat has written what a Jana is.
Oh.
So I probably responded weirdly to what you said.
Yeah, it was.
I am listening. in a way.
Good.
I am listening.
But yeah, I just thought Baz was really controlled his box at the end of the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was punching balls away, making sure it was just going.
Yeah. Athletic Baz. No, it's great to see him do well. Very good to see him do. It's a nickname. There we go. Nickname for a person from Plymouth. Do we have anything more than that? Is it just something that was just picked up? Yeah. Anyway. Here, anyone? Chris might have something here.
Ask and you shall receive.
Chris Hutchins said, "Janet is an English regional nickname." Is this the Chris Hutchins I know? It might be. Janet is an English regional nickname associated with Plymouth, both as a noun and as an adjective for the local accent and dialect. Oh, it's like, all right, Janet. West Country. Nice. Don't cancel me for that. Just making an accent. Fantastic, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. Right then. Are we ready to move on from Devon? Move on from Devon.
And where are we going on the underground today? What zone? What zone is it? What zone? Like, so you know Devon. So what zone in London is QPR?
I don't know. Zone 3. I'm gonna go with that. Cheers, Chris. Good to see you, man. Right. Yeah, Saint's reaction to that banner was funny. It was very funny. I enjoyed that. Yes, we are off to Loftus Road for a take on QPR, a side that started the campaign with 2 losses and a win. They lost rather emphatically on the opening day, 4-0 down at halftime to Watford, and then followed that up with a win at Cardiff, 2-1 win. And then more recently, they played high-flying Ipswich and narrowly lost 1-0. And after watching the highlights of that game, I think they were pretty hard done by it. They looked to be doing very, very well, creating a lot of chances, but perhaps some issues with their fitness. But they have an Armstrong as well. They've got a Sinclair Armstrong who is not scoring loads of goals, but has scored a couple so far this season. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the aspirations are for QPR for the Championship campaign. I kind of got the inclination though that they were perhaps going to be fighting relegation. Was that? Did you kind of get that?
QPR are a strange one for me because they did their manager before Ainsworth. They know they're the guy that was in between like a very short term, a few months, and then the chat before that is the mate. He was at QPR now, wasn't it? Gerard's assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think things were going all right under him. From everything, I remember sort of seeing a lot of videos about, oh, look, QPR are doing bits. They're doing business. And then...
So I've made it a howler, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
You said which area in London they are, and I just assumed it was an away game.
It was an away game. No, we will... You mean you can try going to Loftus, but...
After St Mary's, please, no one buy train tickets. That was... yeah, we're not going to Loftus Road.
Good job.
We're going to St Mary's. Oh dear. Yeah. It's live. It's live. These things happen. Yeah.
You've got it, mate. You've got it.
Yeah. Thanks.
But yeah, so I think if it's just QPR, just this, and now just kind of this middling championship team where it can kind of go either way right now. I see like this Garen was like when you see the clips after the first game, like the fans are rancid after that first game.
I'm not surprised.
It was steamy in there to a point where I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna fire a manager on the first game. This is what it's gonna be crazy. And it's he needed that win against it was against Cardiff, wasn't it? That the win.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I say, narrowly defeated against Ipswich. So they kind of seem like a team that might be riding on the that we're fighting for relegation already stream, where they're just like, we just gotta get these points, play scrap and beat. But if that doesn't get fixed, that'll burn off pretty quickly.
So
it's just whether we take advantage of it. I just kind of think it's gonna be one of those games where we kind of just have too much talent for them. A bit like when I talk about Leicester in the league. I don't see Leicester losing to anyone.
Right.
Every time you say, Watford, Leicester's like, well, Leicester. Coventry, Leicester. I think Leicester are going to win it because Leicester they're just a better team who shouldn't be in this league. Now, I don't think that about us with every team because
But
we'll lose to
other
them.
teams think that about us as well. You do realize that?
I get that, and that's why people put us first, and that's why I've put us. I think we're going to finish first in the league because I think we're wicked. But at the same time, I am a Southampton fan who has seen us lose to Swansea, Coventry, Cardiff,
Grimsby,
Norwich, Grimsby, Gillingham. I've seen us lose to all these teams when we were meant to be a really good Premier League team.
Yep.
So I know that we can slip up. Whereas I just look at other from the outside, looking at Leicester, I'm like, they'll win those matches. I just looking at this QPR game. This is one of them where I think we should just kind of out talent them here. Nothing against the QPR players, but this does for me seem like the top, almost a Premier League team. Very almost. We're not, but very almost playing a championship squad. And hopefully and with the sort of like reassurance of how kind of good we've been the first 3 games and how sturdy the performances have been and consistent, and we've got an idea of playing. I'm just like, if we can go out and do that, we'll win.
Yeah.
And
I've just seen when we last won. 5th of March. We haven't won at home since the 5th of March.
Yeah, see, like it's. I think that, like, another thing that adds to our favour.
We're due a home win.
We're due a home win.
I think that's fair to say. We're due a home win. We're due a home win.
We've seen us score 8 goals in the last home games in the league and not win.
That's nuts. That is nuts. You say that one again? We scored how many goals?
8 goals in the last 2 league home games, and we've not won.
There it is. There it is. Not one since the 5th of March, 2023.
I was also thinking about this today. Is this the most Premier League winners to play in the Championship at one time?
I guess it must be. Are you just talking about the 2 clubs there?
Yeah, I mean, you got Leicester and Blackburn, but surely last time Leicester were in this league, they hadn't won the Premiership yet. So now we've got
Correct.
So in the Championship right now, you've got 2 Premier League winners.
Yeah.
And every other team in the league has also been in the Premier League, apart from Plymouth. Oh, it's the most. Sorry, I think it's the most teams in the Premier League.
Yeah, not all of them have.
Not all of them. But do you know what I mean? So it's a fun league this year, isn't it? It's a spicy
league.
Wild.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think about QPR, mate. I think they're a team that's fighting on pure energy and vibes right now. And if we can just go in there and play a good game, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be certainly interesting to see. Let's go on to the just final word on QPR. I kind of get the impression a lot of their squad aren't as fit as perhaps they need to be. So a lot of their key players can only play up to 60 minutes. So the impression I got from the other QPR fan channels that I was watching on their previews were basically saying that when we get to the latter stages of a game, that if they're not ahead, then they can sort of fall off quite a bit in the latter stages. So, let's hope we can score first and then maintain that to make it a stress-free weekend. That'd be very nice to do, but it's certainly something that we can perhaps relate to with Stuart Armstrong. But let's go on to our predicted 11. Just before I do that, it's coming here from Mark, member of the channel. Thanks so much for your support. Russell appeared to say that he would not play Charles and Downs together with our defence. I would have thought that would be risky. That's an interesting one, that, because that was my one worry with Flynn Downs coming in, that it would have an impact on Shea Charles game time, which is weird because if you think about it, you're spending 15 million on a player that you're not wanting to play week in, week out in the Championship.
I disagree. I see this as, didn't you wish that we had kept Romeo when Lavia was here? This is what this is now. Now you have a decent centre, defensive midfield player who probably do it week in and week out in Flynn Downs, Premier League proven, 25, good age, and now you've got a really spicy up and coming 19-year-old centre defensive midfield player.
It's a good age. It's
and
good
you've
age.
Got a lot of games to play this season, including cups. So he's going to get game time. And don't forget, Downs is only a loan.
Yeah, it's true.
So end of the season, he goes out, and if Shea's popping away, then we'll sort it for CDM next season. So for me, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I was even a little bit upset about the loan move at first. I was like, do you know what? Actually, we'll see get to the end of the season. If we go up, there's more of a likelihood that he want to come to us anyway.
Uh-huh.
Every season where he isn't actually that great. There's no problem there, and we've also got a great youngster. So good deal.
Yeah.
I'll just go away, mate.
Why have I done that? I don't know how I've done that. Hello, everyone.
Mike hates it when I make these kind of like well articulated points.
I don't know why is it gone there? Let me put that in there. Sorry, everyone. There we go. Sorry. That's my bad. My bad. All right. We are now into the part of the show. We're going to be talking about our predicted 11 to start on Saturday at St Mary's Stadium, not at Loftus Road, as I alluded to earlier in the show. Apologies for the confusion there. So let us know your predicted 11 for Saturday's game. Now, what I've done is that I've actually put the team that started in here, the team that started against Plymouth Argyle. Just so we could talk through that, because I think we were a little bit confused when we saw those team sheets. Alcaraz, who was out injured, was that just before the game? I don't know if that was
I think it was either just before the game or maybe he came off funny at the open training.
Right. Okay.
Kind of seem to have a slight memory of that being the case.
Right. Okay. Came off funny. It's hilarious.
It's been a week, mate. I don't know where I am.
Trying to make this nice and big so people can actually see the players, in case they're watching on their phones and can barely see it. Alcaraz got injured in open training.
Yeah,
that's nuts. If anyone was get injured in open training, it was going to be Alcaraz, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's be fair.
Hardest working player. So yeah, this is the lineup that effectively started against Plymouth Argyle down in Devon. Which effectively Adam Armstrong was playing the kind of the pushing forward number 8 role, and we had Shea Charles and Stuart Armstrong sort of holding up midfield there. I think for me that was kind of working actually okay, and had, I guess the confusing thing was, had Charlie Alcaraz been fit, would Adam Armstrong have started up here and Shea Adams on the bench? Or was this the game plan the whole long? Because this went so well, I can't help but think that maybe Stu might have been on the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that, but if we're going to get into what we think would be the lineup, but I do think there's a good chance that we could see this as the starting. But like you say, Alcaraz there and Downs where Charles is, just so you've got that little bit more experience in defence, because Alcaraz isn't going to track back, and I think Adam Armstrong actually will do a job in tracking back. To be fair, I think we've already seen him do it, so I think he'll kind of be great in that role. And the fact that he can get the ball to centre park, give it to Shea up the pitch to hold up, and then he's running through, I think it's just a good partnership.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I kind of thought. So those would be the changes I make. It would be Downs on for Charles, Alcaraz on for Stu. Do you know what? Sulemana on for Edozie.
Yeah, do you know what? I just read Jack's comment in the chat here. Chuck Sulemana, left wing, he's fit. And I was thinking, that just doesn't seem fair, does it? I mean,
no,
it just,
but
I love it.
Keep in mind, Edozie did come off of a little bit of a wobble last game.
He did, yeah.
And, he is still young, and Sulemana is our most paid player. And for anyone saying that he was rubbish in the league last year, his take-ons were fantastic. He was electric down that wing, and he was unlucky not to be more clinical. And he had the great game against Liverpool. And I just kind of think, any player that you thought last season was like, oh my God, they do 9 out of 10 things, but they just can't do the final finish. This season, they're probably going to do the final finish because they got an easier opponent.
Yeah, agreed.
And the team is working. So,
yeah. Really much so. I think Edozie, lack of end product, or Stu, because the fitness would be benched if Alcaraz was fit. His end product, Edozie's end product, almost was pretty good, actually. He had an effort that went just whistling past the post, so it would be nice to see him. Nice to see him score. Let us know in the chat section what your final 11 are, and basically we're going to make some additions and some substitutions from this side. I mean, we've already made Sulemana's come in. So yeah, who else would change? I mean, let's work from the back here. Baz, I don't think
Stays.
that changes at all. Stevens and Bednarek, I don't think that changes at all. Carl Peters and Manning. I mean, this stays as is, isn't it?
Yeah, that is it, really.
That's it.
I
Yeah.
mean, I see a few people complaining a bit about Manning. The slip and a few mistakes.
hmm
He's still just getting used to this team a little bit. I think when he's actually doing the job that he was hired to do, and that is
Yeah.
to control the ball, move it along, go forward. I think he's fine. I think he's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's move on to midfield. Shea Charles, man of the match performance. Does he stay? I have to say yes, but it all
He,
depends on what position
it,
Flynn Downs is going to be in.
I think it more depends on whether if he wants to start Alcaraz or not, because I don't
Okay.
think you can. I don't think you can start Alcaraz and Charles and have Adam Armstrong. That you can't. That's just that's too much attacking in that
Yeah.
midfield and not enough tracking. So it's either going to be Stu and Charles or it's going to be Flynn Downs and Alcaraz.
hmm
That's this humble man's opinion. But
Okay.
then you never know if Smallbone's fit and fighting again.
Yeah. Although we were.
Because then I think a midfield of Charles and Smallbone or Downs and Smallbone with that number 8 in front of them, just doing whatever they want and having that's a good defensive.
Yeah.
That's kind of I do think Smallbone has got that Prousey thing to him, and he's being played a bit too defensively right now.
Yeah.
And if he can be allowed that freedom to be a bit higher forward with Flynn Downs behind him, I think it'd be electric.
Yeah. Coming in from the same 195, Sulemana is fit to train lightly but not play. So that might have an impact on his use. I guess we'll find out. Presser tomorrow at 1:30 at St Mary's Stadium. Martin makes proper use of subs. No, that's sending a player on with 2 minutes left. Yeah, there appears to be a lot of strategy to it.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I think, and there's not been a single. How crazy is this? There's not been a single substitution that he's made that I've gone, wow, why has he done that then? What's that all about?
Well, even when, Chris makes a point out here, could Teller be more dynamic to become Red Mark to cut back from dangerous positions. I think with Teller, though, it was because Adozi went off injured, and I think Teller went onto the left, and it wasn't a problem at all, was it? It was just it's like, okay, great. He played left, fine. He used to do that. I'm pretty sure that's where he ended up. Stevie66 got an excellent point. Don't you think it's good to have a think about starting lineup and have good options? Isn't it? And do you know what? It's always those times of the season where you know, like, for instance, you go, well, that's not changing. Like that's a good mindset to be.
Remember, I think we had that. I think it was that Spurs games once where we just had that chat of that's when Southampton are at their best. Is when you can look at the 11 spots and be like, I know who goes in all of these positions.
Yeah.
I'm not. We need to bodge this here. This needs to go in here. It's just like, no, this here. This is what it needs to be with maybe a tweak, but that's more. What do you want this game? Do you want defense or do you want attack?
Yeah, absolutely. Charlie at start. He's only just come back from training. Okay, we need to make some decisions here. Otherwise, we could be going around all night. Right.
You know what? Given the fact
Sam
that Alcaraz,
Sam, I forgot about Sam. I gotta forget about Sam.
Oh, Sam was electric when he came on. By the way,
yeah, it was good. Yeah,
he's gonna be such a nightmare player to bring on at 75 minutes, 70 minutes every game, just to be like, oh, you're tired. Watch this. We got Sonic on the wing.
Exactly. He is great. He is absolutely great. Thank you so much for everyone who's watching live at the moment. You can also watch this on replay, so please be sure to stick in your thoughts in the comment section. We always like to respond and read those back after the show. But with over 100 people in this live show at the moment, please be sure also to smash that like button. Really does make a difference to the channel, and we are fast approaching the 5,000 mark. Can we do it tonight? Can we do it tonight live on air?
You know what? This comment right here is the absolute. You want Sulemana to be back, so you can bring a Dozy on, just like you bring Sam Amoeo on. Imagine when teams are rugged and ragged at 70 minutes, 75, and you're like, right, Teller, Sulemana, off you pop. Boom! We've got two that are just as quick, just as fast,
even faster.
and because they're young and unhinged, you have no idea what they're going to do.
Yep.
So great stuff.
Love it. Right, let's lock in this midfield. Come on. Are we sticking with Charles? And then so hard. Is Lindown's going to be on the bench?
I think for this game, especially because he had the food poisoning, and he said he's lost a bit of timber, and so he's probably not 100% like where he needs to be. Probably start Charles, let Flynn get a little bit of weight back on him.
Okay. And we're staying with Stuart Armstrong here.
Yeah, go on. Stu can say.
Adam Armstrong tucking in there.
Yeah.
Shea Adams here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if Sulmana isn't actually fit, who are we going in here? A Dozy?
Yeah, it's going to be a Dozy then, isn't it? It's going to be what it was at the beginning.
We've gone back to exactly what
it was. Unchanged.
Who I also think is perhaps might be a little bit injured, so we'll have to wait and see. So maybe it could be Amior and Teller on this side. There we go. Is that exactly how I left it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. What pointless exercise that was. Let us know in the chat session if you have any disagreements with that. Has someone got their Ultimate 11 in here? I mean, that's
If anybody missed it, I was on Leicester Fan TV the other night, last week, and we had to do our Southampton, like our all-time five-a-sides. Mine was just electric. Did I send it to you?
No, but was Yoshida in it?
No.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Well done.
This was I'm here to prove a point. It was I had Shilton in goal, Van Dijk, Bale, Latiz, Mane.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I listened to Dave, really. I was like, do you know what? When you look at Dave's team, you're like, yeah, that is insane.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't have all the players that he picked, but I'm like, he's absolutely right. But you had Bale and Mane.
Yeah. Oh man.
Nobody would touch that five-a-side team. That'd be insane.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, it's coming here from Chris again. Ballard an option as frontman. The Shea goes 3 hat tricks and the last 2 under 21.
Here's the thing. I think if Shea stays and Adam Armstrong drops back, Ballard's the perfect guy to bring on.
Yeah. I mean, I do think there's perhaps a bit of a jump between those two sort of setups, but
you say that, mate. But I just feel like he's scoring such an insane amount of goals.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's not like he's scoring every game. It's like, no, he's scoring 3 or 4 every game. He is way too good to playing in that league. And he might not come up, but he is one of those guys that I kind of feel like he gets his debut. And if he gets more than 15 minutes, he gets a goal on his debut.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read. I think it was Alfie House from so I think he did a from the Echo. He did an interview with Bob Ballard this week, and he just reads like he's going to be a baller. I think there's a little quote that I saw thinking like it takes a certain amount of arrogance to be a decent striker.
It does.
You're like, yes, it does, Dom. So come and be arrogant on the pitch for us, please.
Yeah. The amount of times you saw, successful strikers totally winding up their teammates just because they're basically having the game softened, but it's why they're successful. Fantastic, good stuff. Right, we're locking that in. That is our predicted 11 for Saturday's game against QPR at St Mary's Stadium. Right, let's move on to the most audacious part of the show.
That wasn't our first predictive 11 of the season, was it?
No, we did the last one.
Did we? I feel like it feels like so long since we've done it.
Yeah, I think we did it.
Because I don't think we did it the week that Prowsey went because we were like too sad about that.
Yeah.
I don't think we didn't do it the week after because we had all the guests.
Maybe. Anyway, we've done one. There we go. Now. It's back. Let us know if you like it or not. It's probably staying anyway, to be fair. This is the part of the show where we're going to be giving our score predictions ahead of Saturday's game. So it is the time for you guys to put your score predictions in the chat session if you're watching along with us live, or stick them in the comment section. And after which, me and Jack will be going through all of them Apart from the ones in the comment section, I can't do that because that'll be in the future. All the ones in the chat section we'll be going through right after we give it ours. Right. Is it my turn to go first?
I believe so.
Right, let's do this. I really want a clean sheet. Really want it for Jack Stevens' sake, for Baz's sake, for the entire defence's sake. I really want it. So I am going to be bold and say we're going to get it, and it's going to be a 3-0 Southampton win.
Love that. I absolutely love that kind of audacious thought. Give me goal scorers.
Goal scorers, I'm going to go Shea Adams for 2.
Nice.
And let me have a look at that team sheet. Where are our goals coming from? And Teller's going to get one.
Of course he is. Teller's on a run.
Yeah. And Adam Armstrong's going to get 2 assists.
I like that. I like that a lot.
There you go. So a brace for Adams and 1 for Teller. Whoop, whoop.
10 out of 10.
Like that. Are you a little bit proud of me for that, Jack?
I am. I'm extremely proud of you for that.
A large scoreline with a clean sheet.
Absolutely. Are you me?
Who are you?
I'm going to say a draw now, just to...
Oh, no. I get to check his IP address. It's not Jack.
This is the best AI you've ever seen. It's so accurate. Deep fakes, man, they're scary.
Oh, yeah. Be a lot less time consuming, wouldn't it? Right. Come on, then. What are you going to go for?
4-0 Saints.
Oh. So for the 3rd game at home in a row in the league, we're going to score 4.
And win.
We're
going to score 4.
The important caveat at the end there. I love that.
And it's going to be the clean sheet, so that kind of almost balances out the goal difference between those 3 games, but it doesn't, but it kind of does.
In a weird way. Yeah. Score and win.
So, yeah, I'm the same as you, mate. I just kind of think it's at home. QPR have got enough bite about them that they think that they can maybe, come at us, but I just think the team's there. I think there's enough players in the squad to just sort of do something electric, and I think the atmosphere at home, it's just it's coming to be quite electric, really.
Sell out, almost.
What's the track we're playing after we score now? What's that song? I'm an old man. I don't know these things.
Kraftwerk, isn't
it? Chat section, let me know. And that's us demonetized.
It wasn't that good. Right, there it is. That is me and Jack going for a... Jack's going for a 4-0. I'm going for a 3-0. It's time to go over to the chat section. So you've still got time to chuck in yours in the chat section right now. And I'll be going through those right away. And by the way, what do we all think of the gold music? I personally don't mind it. I'm not sure if I like it. I don't dislike it. I'm all right with it.
It's only good because everybody's with it.
Yeah.
Everybody's so happy to see us score this season that no one's like, what's this bloody song? It's like, yeah, come on then. Way, it's a party. Southampton has scored. So
Exactly. Also, it's almost like a celebration music. Like, there's no VAR. You could celebrate. Right. Not the right tune, that was it. Right, let's start off with there's an amusing super chat. I'm going to have to go through that one. That's quite funny, to be fair. Right, Ryan Ackland's going for a 2-0 Saints. I nearly went for a 2-0, but I thought, no, Jack won't be proud of me if I say that. Christine, look at that. It's going for 5-0 Saints.
Someone had to say it. Someone had to be brave, and that was you.
Yeah, well done. Do love that. Scrolling through. I mean, it's a super chat. I got to put it up.
I got to put it up there. At least you spout it. Like that's a childish way of spelling it. So
exactly. Well, thank you for the support. It means a lot. Thank you. Right. Oh man, if you check a beauty first, put a bit of coin behind it. Love it. Right. Segatilly's going for 2-0 Saints. Lots of 2-0 here. SB is also going for a 2-0. This now's going for call me mental, stupid, or delusional. I wouldn't. I wouldn't ever. Although reading that out, have I just never mind. I'm going for 8-1 Saints. Wow. Wow. I mean, if it's an 8-1 Saints, do we have to do a shirt thing where we've got to go full kit for the next game? I'm scared to say that out loud.
Let's not go that far.
Well, think something if it's 8-1.
If we win 8-1, you can give us your address, and I will send you this Kermit the Frog sticker.
Look at that. Now that doesn't happen every show, does it?
Now if that's not an incentive, I don't know I don't know what else I can give you.
Exactly. Niall's going for a crazy 3-0. Christine's back with a 5-0 QPR -5. No, don't do that. Oh, Ryan said his prediction thing. He was going to. Do you know what? I thought I was going to go 2-0, but I went 3-0. Chris is going for a 3-0 Ballard hat trick from the bench. Now that would be something. Crypto Hit's going for a 3-1 Saints. Michael Stone's going for I missed the game. It's on Disney Cruise 3-1. Well, then you win on all regards, don't you? Disney Cruise, that sounds amazing. Red and White's going for a solid 2-0. Baz needs it. 100% agree. Ryan's going for a 2-0. Sengatilly's going for a 3-0. He's going for 3-0. Or is it just his prediction? Look at that. You got it right either way. Luke Callum's going for a 4-2. Concede 2 goals. That'd be disappointing. Mark Rich is going for a 4-0 Teller hat trick and Alcaraz screamer. Sengatilly's going for a 5-0. Finbar's going for 3-0. Niall's commenting, but it'll be interesting to see what Sinclair is like for QPR because he looks dangerous against Ipswich. He did look dangerous, but I'm just hoping that their fitness isn't fully there. Charlie Page 3-0. If we do win, it'll be my first time watching Saints win live since that home 1-0 win versus Arsenal forced the masterclass. Yeah, that was a shock, that game, wasn't it? I have no idea how we won that 1-0, but we did, and it was fun. Jack Hush again for a 4-1. Adams for 2. Teller and Alcaraz. If Saints win 3-0, I'll donate you £10. Well, if you donate £10, I'll pass that on to a charity of your choosing. Steve,
the Jack Twix Fund.
A worthy cause as well, I'm sure, Jack. Yes, indeed. Steve 66 4-0 Saints. Shay a couple. Adam 1. Sam 1. He's with you, Jack. Look at that. Urban's going for 1-0. A lucky one. Manning header. Nice.
I'd like to see that.
Lord O'Bennett's going for a 2-0 Armour. They've only scored twice, and we're due a clean sheet and a home win. 100%. Just 4, Jack. Yeah, I know, right? 4. Are you nuts?
4?
Yep. Oh, look at this. Christine's up the bid. If we don't fall out, I'll donate you £20. That'd be. Thank you.
I'll be swimming in Twix, bro.
Be swimming in Twix. Jack, that song is older than you. How do you know it's not older than me? How dare you? It's definitely not older than me. Right.
It
goal
could
music works with that. Goal music is 2 Yank. Almost that. No, we can't be having that. There's no hate on the brass here.
I don't get this. How can you hate on the brass? They're great.
Yeah, exactly. Rich Griffin go for a 3-0. I feel bad we just previewed Man U and you're previewing QPR. Yeah, but you're going to have VAR and all that stress and Varchester United. So, yeah, we're not jealous at all. Red and White is saving his 8-0 prediction for Sunderland. What, Sunderland away? 8-0. Wow. Okay, love that. Finland's going for a 4-0. NFJ, I reckon 3-1. Telebrace and Adams. Yeah.
How about Zombie Nation 1999? So I'm in foul of the song. How dare you ever think otherwise?
Look at that. Yeah, Ballard might be playing at Tottenham tomorrow. I'm glad I can't go to that actually.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he played the night before The Plymouth
I know,
game.
and he got in a cab. They put him in a cab and sent him down to Devon. Chalky's going for a 1-0. Yes, we still get Cole Peters. Hands off. The vultures are circling.
Have you still got John Joe Shelby? Oh, right.
Savage. They've still got Chris Wood. It's got a winner for them. They needed to win that against Sheffield United. I was watching that game. They needed to win that.
Sheffield United versus Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. What year are we in?
Outrageous. We put too high a price tag on our players. Apparently, all these Premier League clubs can't afford our players. They struggle to meet the evaluations, and then they lose them to Chelsea. Little dig at the Scouse side of the country there. Lovely stuff. Right. I think we've pretty much summed up these score predictions. There are quite a few in there. I felt like I was doing that for quite a while. It's turning into a Forest fan TV back and forth. Jack, you would take Lord Voldemort, don't even lie. Oh yeah, he does.
And he's a B Tech Chris Marsden, and I'll have no more said about it.
Yeah, he can stay at home and watch his own goal highlights. It's fine. We're good. We're good. Right then, should we talk a little bit more about this transfer situations and stuff like that? I'm sure I had a banner here. I didn't have a banner. I'm going to write one out here. So we have had Flynn Downs come in on loan from the bubbly part of London. West Ham United have graciously sent us a defensive midfielder or a centre midfielder. Is it a centre midfielder? Defensive midfielder?
Look, column A, look, column B.
A little bit that, a little bit this. I'm quite happy with this, and I think a lot of people were kind of expecting us to have an option to buy, which I'm not that bothered about. Is that weird to me not to have that?
No, like I said earlier on, I don't think it's. When people kicked off about it at first, I was like, yeah, it does seem a bit short sighted. What if he has a wicked season over there? But with Shea Charles and just everything, it's like, well, we've got a decent centre defensive midfielder player.
Yeah,
we're gonna have him for the season, and at the end of the season, if we go up, he's an option to buy. He's not. He doesn't have an option to buy, but he is an option that we could buy. And given the players that we've gotten rid of and what we're doing, our FFP is going to be pretty good. So we could probably go pretty ham next year if we manage to go. If we go up, I think wouldn't be too much of a difficulty maybe getting him in. But
yeah, just ask Burnley and tell her. But we'll have some money to spend.
But at the same, and like I said, wouldn't you have rather had Oriel the first season with Lavia? Just to have a bit of cover, a good experienced head on there, and not to have him in the firing line every game and play him into the ground.
Yeah.
And if Shea Charles plays 20 games, full 90, like 20 full 90-minute games a season, I think that's great. That's all he needs.
Yeah.
And then next season, he's just going to be a little powerhouse. So it's all for his development, really. So I'm happy with the deal.
Yeah.
And that's this season. Better to think about that position.
Yeah, I think it's a great deal. I mean, I think it's you make an excellent point in the sense that there are a lot of games to play in the Championship, and draws correlation with like the Oriol Romeo situation, where had he stayed at Southampton and helped us through those times when Lavia was injured, then maybe we would be talking about fixtures against Man United and the likes. But here we are. That it is what it is, but I'm not going to say I've watched much of Flynn Downs play, but I have heard a lot of good things about him in the Championship, yet to really establish himself as a Premier League player, but is obviously looking to get game time, and so it's going to want to do
that's something that the club would have thought about as well. There are certain players who we can agree Championship might be their level, and it's kind of short-sighted to sign a player. Like, let's say you spend 15 mil on Downs, and then you go up, you're like, wow, it doesn't really cut it in this league.
They're stuck.
And and now you're stuck with him. He's paid 50 mil, and he's on the wage bill for a long time. There's certain players like that. I'm not saying Flynn Downs is going to be the next Moy Elianusi, but would you rather wish that you hadn't put Moy on such a long contract, an expensive contract, and coming from West Ham, probably have an all right contract, not the best, not the highest, but so you're splitting a wage. You probably not had to pay too much money for it. There's not a lot of loss in there. Only loss.
Are we sharing wages? Are we sharing wages with West Ham?
Sure, why not?
Or are we just paying wages? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I put you on the spot there. I didn't know the ins and outs of the deal. I didn't know whether it was like I don't think it's like a situation with like a Walcott loan deal where initially he was on like 75k a week because Everton was still paying 75 grand of it as well. Derek's back. Thank you, Derek.
Derek, my man. Coming in. Mate, here's the question. Is that a Twix each or is that just one Twix duo for me? Because let's be honest, let's be real, brother.
How much is a Twix these days? I think that's basically the price of the Twix.
Yeah, but a decent one.
Okay. It's coming your way, Chad, don't worry.
Cheers, Derek.
Sorry, I'm thrown off track by the Twix donation there. Yes. So I think it's we shouldn't be snubbing our noses up at any loan deals because you're right. The job for this season should be this season and the objective of getting promoted back to the Premier League. So however we do it, and so many other clubs in the Championship that use loan players from Premier League clubs to do exactly that. I mean, look what Middlesbrough were last season. Pretty much all of them. So it's just a case of making sure that we're set up, should the fantastic happen and we get ourselves promoted. So yeah, no, that's all good. All good. So yeah, and I guess with all the other noise that's going on with Joel Barreau that we talked a bit about at the start of the show, and I think it was pretty much unanimous in the chat section that everyone would generally pick Shea Adams over Joel Barreau. So my inclination of that deal is, look, we're going to have the donation. I've been distracted by these. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that support.
That's the pies paid for this weekend, guys. So thank you very much.
Yep, it is. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I've been put off guard again. What was I talking about?
Joel Barreau, mate.
Joel Barreau, yes. So the deal that effectively is progressing with Leeds United kind of screams at me that actually the deal for Shea Adams going to Everton is kind of on hold and looking unlikely. So, but you just wonder with the likes of Swansea, why aren't they keeping it? 12 million doesn't seem like a lot, but then it also seems like an overvaluation of a Championship striker.
Yeah, but 12 mil is a decent amount for Swansea. But not to be mean to them. I know Southampton are kind of setting a insane precedent, turning down 40 mil for players, turning down 50 mil for players. Tell me another Championship side that you've ever seen do that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of setting a bad example in that sense because 12 mil is a good amount. Keep in mind, like last season, think how much we would sell players like Redmond for. How many players that we sold for like 2, 3, 4 mil that you're like, what's going on? Yeah. 12 mil is a decent price for, I think he's 28-year-olds.
Is he?
I think he's 28. I think he's old.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was quite young.
If somebody wants to correct, I'm pretty sure Joe Barrow's in late 20s.
Doing the research live on air because we're a professional channel.
He's 24. I was off.
I was gonna say. Here we go. Is he Dutch? Is he Dutch?
Sure.
No idea that. Yeah. Look at that.
We know things.
He's 1.85 meters tall. He joined Swansea in 2021, not that long ago.
Speaking of Dutch, I have seen rumours about that. That Johan Hove, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
That looks pretty set on. I think that'll probably be the next thing we see get announced. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I know everything about old Johan over here, but Saints analysts on Twitter did a really great sort of deep dive on him of just how he
I
would
see
fit the
that.
system and how he hits the 4-4-3 really well.
Yeah.
I just first of all just want to shout out that Twitter account because it's amazing, and the fact that this dude brought out it was like a 6-tweet thread about how he plays about 3 hours after the rumor got put up. So that rumor went up. He didn't play in the squad that weekend. That kind of looks like a decent signing, a good centre midfielder.
Yeah.
Got highlights that pretty decent, and I think that's kind of a position, given the fact that Alcaraz can get injured. We don't want Adam Armstrong playing that position all season. I think another centre midfielder would be a good shout. And this guy looks pretty good. That looks like it could be a good bargain. Since I think he got relegated last season, so he's in the Division 2 of Dutch football right now. So he'll be looking for a move.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody wants to play second division.
No, indeed. I mean, how would you rate the business that we've done so far? I mean, I think we've done okay, and we've done a great job in holding out for the prices of players departing as well. So, we've got a huge amount of money for Tino Livramento. As good as we were to lose him. So, I mean, look, I think we can just generally judge our transfer window at the end of it, because this could go very well. It could go very badly in the next 7 days. Well, literally, we're 7 days away from the closing of the window, which is this time next week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what.
It's going to be a late preview next week, by the way, everyone. It's going to be a late preview.
So I think you're right. Considering when we got out at the end of January, we were kind of like, we signed Orisic and we signed Paul, we signed all these new players. It must have been a good window, and then it wasn't. But you don't get that feeling this time.
Yeah.
The players that have been brought in, it wasn't like we heard 20 rumors for that one position. It was like, no, we're going to get Ryan Manning, and then we got Ryan Manning. Flynn Downs was so signed on, before he was even announced. Russell Martin and Jason Wilcox, yeah, he's coming. That's who we wanted. That's who we've gotten.
Yeah, it's just
the players that have gone. Did Prowsey go for less money than I thought he would? Yeah, but he's gone, and I think we got a lot of that money up front rather than over a space of time.
Yeah,
I think it was good money for Tino. I think it was amazing money for Lavia. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, that was a ridiculously good deal for Lavia.
Yeah, wasn't there something that he was going to come back on loan?
I've seen that rumor. That maybe he'll come back on loan. But the fact that
wild.
But the fact that we've got Downs and Charles makes me believe that probably won't happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it all depends on how small those wages are. I mean, if they did a wage share, but either way, that would be 3 incredible options for that position.
Well, I know it's kind of like looking at the blind spots with the Lavia deal, but when you think that Chelsea paid 60 million, pretty much 60 million for a player that was out for pretty much a whole season with an injury, was a part of the worst defensive team in the league last season, finished bottom, and only had 1 goal involvement, which was the season before his injury, and they paid 60 million for him.
Yeah.
And now here's the thing: we all agree Lavia was amazing. He was without doubt the best defensive player we had and the best player in that squad probably last season.
Yeah.
Didn't have much competition for that place though.
No. And I think that's the weird thing. I mean, I spoke to Charlie from I forget the name of his channel. They're going to Charlie Chelsea Fan TV. He's one of the contributors to Chelsea Fan TV, and we were speaking about Lavia. And because it's what happens generally when you lose a player, the opposing fan channels want to talk to you about a player that's leaving. I've had Everton fan channels on at me to unfortunately I couldn't do it this week because I had loads of other stuff on to talk about Shea Adams.
And it's not that we don't appreciate that, because you did ask me if I can make that show, but I'm kind of glad that you didn't do it now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but it's always a little bit of a weird thing because you're there going, yeah, he's leaving. And really like him. He's really good. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy watching him, and he's gonna bring you lots of happiness. And I wish you all the best. No, but it's always weird doing those shows. But in talking to Charlie from the Chelsea fan channel, it was just like, this is gonna sound weird. I'm happy he's gone to Chelsea because Liverpool have had enough of our players. They've had an abundance of players off Southampton Football Club. So it was fun to see how it panned out. But in a weird way, for the sake of Lavia, I kind of wish he went to Liverpool because he literally play that position week in, week out and get so much more game time. And now he's going to be fighting like three positions to get in there.
I don't know what it is, but even though like Chelsea finished ridiculously low last season, I just something about that Liverpool squad right now. I'm just like, yeah, you're not that special anymore. There's something about it. I'm like, just you've lost a lot of the things that I liked. None of the players that used to be amazing. Like I don't think Van Dijk's been as good ever since his injury.
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't think Trent plays well as a defensive role, plays better forward, but he's still sort of in between. So you can sort of very open on that side.
Yeah.
Henderson has done what Henderson's done. Fabinho's gone. Firmino's gone.
Yeah. The big coin is Saudi. Salah is maybe on the way out.
That's what I mean. Just more and more. And then as great as Klopp is, I just look at him just like, yeah, there's nothing that special.
You in, Jack?
I mean, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Done. Going on Amazon now. Yellow ties. Deadline day ties.
Oh, I thought we were going to go saying retro yellow kits, but okay, yellow ties.
Yeah, we do either. I'll get you a tie. We can do yellow aways as well.
Would you not get me a kit?
What a yellow kit?
Yeah, I would like you to buy me a yellow Southampton shirt.
Hang on, yellow tie. See how much on Amazon. You know, we're doing all right on this channel. It's not that good. Although we do have the Twigs money. I could use that. How much? It's only Amazon ties. £6. I mean, it'd be a laugh.
Like what?
So
what we're saying. Let me put this up, right? So how much is it? You're saying it's £6 for the tie?
I mean, it's worth it.
It's £6 for the tie, right? You've been donated about £6 tonight. Now you can either do that, or you can give me that £6 and let me buy you the see if I can get you a Southampton top for £6.
Off what? Which one? Off eBay for £6?
Who knows? Who knows what kit it is or what shirt it will be? But I feel like for £6, I can get you
yellow football kit.
No, I will get you a Southampton top for that money
that fits me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is something I could do. I feel like that is a challenge that I could do.
All right, you're on. You got £6. Yeah.
£6.
I'll have a word with Petty Cash from the Matchday Vlogs accountant channel.
And I'll even pay for postage.
Oh, thanks, man. So you're granting. So it's got to be £6 plus whatever postage it is. Don't do anything weird like it would cost £80 per postage. Can't do that.
No.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be that mad as well.
What size?
You came for a laugh, but
what size do you wear?
I like to think I can fit a medium, but
a medium,
give me a large.
A large,
medium or large. It gives you options, then, doesn't it?
No worries. That's medium is a large.
If you want me to wear it again, it can't be like bigger than a large.
Oh my god! I've already found two. So
amazing. Chris, thank you for your idea. It's going to be a fun show next week. Let's hope we're not mopping our tears with these yellow ties and yellow shirts we're going to get. Sorry, what were we talking about? What were we talking about before Chris sidetracked us? We were talking about Lavia and Liverpool and all that kind of stuff, weren't we? I remember that. Back in the game. What's this? Glenn Johnson said Lavia back on loan, no official interest or news reports, just a pundit suggesting it would be a good idea. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I did think it was a bit wacky.
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
Schneiderlin linked to Giuseppe. Wow. Well, that'd be a fun one because he goes to Giuseppe, then maybe come back to us on loan if we're desperate.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Kipper ties. Kits and ties, yeah. Where's Saints' old yellow kit? Which old yellow kit? There's so many. I mean, I've got the yellow one with the blue sleeves from recent things.
Yeah, that's a shame because that's the one I've just found on eBay for £7. So
Yeah, I've already got that one. That'd be a bit weird. £7. Surely someone can get more than that for it. Yeah.
Not with the messages I'm about to send them. I'm doing a challenge for YouTube.
Oh dear. But no, Chelsea losing 3-1 to West Ham, deja vu from last season. James Ward-Prowse had a great game. He did have a great game, as sad as we had to say. So, yes, there it is. My goodness, we have been chatting for a long, long time, haven't we? Look at that. Well, it's been a long show, but we've had plenty to chat about. That has been our QPR preview, of which we've talked a little bit about QPR. You got a bit of insight onto it. I've let you know some key players, the recent results. But me and Jack are relatively.
You just patting yourself on the back for looking at a BBC report for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I watched some of their fan content. It's where it's at. Other fan channels, they know where it's at. It's a way to get your information. The feeling, the gut feeling. I don't want to listen to pundits that basically just talk.
Yeah, I will say I much prefer the English League show than I do Match of the Day.
Yeah.
Match, games, goals. Just go. We've got
Don't
a lot to get through.
Get it done. There we go. But thank you so much for joining us here live in the show. It's been fun to do it. There have been plenty of live mistakes and blunders on this. So thank you so much for sticking with us with those. If you're watching us on replays, be sure to stick in your thoughts in the comments section. If you haven't already, please smash that like button. And don't forget to hit that subscribe. We are so close to 5K. Should I do a quick check where we are with it? I think we're crawling. We're crawling. Yeah, 977, 4977. We'll get there.
Guys, just go out. Just spread it out there. Spread the love.
Let's see if we can get it done by Saturday. It'll be certainly fun to do. But there it is. We will be at this game on Saturday. It's a 3:00 kickoff. And we're certainly looking forward to that. But there it is. So, as always, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And me and Jack will see you in the next one. All right. See ya.